there, traveler! Welcome to this Blurbs tutorial. Below the screen there, you'll see a like button. Go ahead and click that. What the hell, man? Tutorials are in video games, unfortunately. As they hold our hand through the simplest of mechanics, they bore us to death as they dump meaningless exposition, and they pop up little chat boxes that tell us how to jump. It's with the spacebar. It's always been with the spacebar. Tutorials are usually terrible, but there are some ways around that. By making them into starting areas, giving players the full power that they seek to unlock, and making themselves seamless, tutorials can be an excellent way to introduce players to the mechanics, ideas, and the story of the full game without making them feel like a little baby. So today on Blurbs, let's look at games that get tutorials right. This is the starting area of Mario Odyssey. Here you'll learn to jump, roll, and demonically possess your enemies with your little goofy hat. Your soul is mine, frog. Implementing a starting area that is separated from the main world can be a great way to introduce players to a game's mechanics, style, and story without overwhelming them with details that they don't need to understand yet. The perfect example of this is the Cap World in Mario Odyssey. In general, it functions like all of the other worlds, albeit with a whole lot less visual information and no moons to draw you off into the distance. Even its color palette is put to a black and white style to place focus directly on learning the game's basic mechanics. But Nintendo just has a way of designing excellent starting areas. One of my other favorite examples is in Breath of the Wild, in which you start on an inescapable plateau placed in the middle of the open world. So you're telling me Ganon's over there and I can't go fight him until I do some stupid tutorial? I'm gonna jump. On this plateau, you need to go to 4 separate shrines and collect abilities that you'll use throughout the rest of the game. By taking the glider away from the player and forcing them to encounter each mechanic in its own zone, the player is able to learn each facet of the game without the draw of the open world tugging them along. A great example of this is in the snow area, in which you need to manage Link's warmth by carrying a torch and going from fire to fire without sprinting. This slight survival system of being hot and cold is something new to the franchise and something that needed to be taught with the player confined in this area. Hey John, power brick! What? That's just a normal brick. One idea I've seen repeated throughout tutorials is giving the player in-game power at the beginning and then bringing them back down to size. This idea is mainly seen in Metroidvanias, as they give you all of the power-ups and gadgets you seek to unlock right at the beginning and then strip them back from you and scatter them to the wind. The beginning of Metroid Prime sees you on a frigate where you have all of Samus's abilities at your fingertips. From the grapple beam to the morph ball to the missile launcher, the game quickly introduces you to each as you blast through walls, roll through tunnels, and explore the ship. After this, as you crash down onto the planet, each of these will be ripped away from you and you'll have to scour the world for them again. This is a great way of showing you what you'll need to solve the puzzles going forward, so when you see blockades in your way, you know what you need to go find. But from a story perspective, I really like the way Sifu does this. In Sifu, the opening mission sees you hunting down an old man in a temple. Upon killing him, you'll discover his son hidden away. The game then quickly switches to you as the son. And guess what? Now it's a karate montage and I'm gonna kick that guy in the head. Yeah. This tutorial works excellently both from a gameplay perspective and a story perspective, as it gives you an easy intro into what becomes a very difficult game and displays the power held by your enemy. We often overlook some of the most obvious things sitting right in front of us, like I bet you didn't even notice my brand new grill. The best form of tutorial is the one that you don't notice at all, as its natural learning curve introduces no hindrances or over-explanations, but rather gently guides you through the opening areas and presents small story beats. Learning the ins and outs of Portal 2's mechanics is like being introduced to a new language, as the game slowly inserts each new idea into your brain's repertoire. It doesn't seem like much, but pre-placing the portal in the first few rooms, creating obvious momentum challenges, and displaying things with noticeable color and texture differences makes learning the mechanics of the game incredibly easy, and in this format relatively unnoticeable. But I really like the way Celeste's tutorial works as well. It does show you 2 separate prompts, but outside of that, it just assumes that you know how to play a platformer. The quick reset of each death allows you to experiment without being harshly punished. You quickly figure out that these sliding blocks fling you forward, that these green diamonds give you an extra jump, and that these spikes do the spike thing. They kill you. Instead of telling you everything with a pop-up box, it allows you to learn with its forgiving mechanics, meaning that on a second or third playthrough, this area just feels like an easy area and not a time-wasting tutorial. So I guess tutorials aren't always all that bad. In some instances, they work to teach you the core mechanics without feeling intrusive or boring. Starting areas, powerful beginnings, and tutorials so good you don't even notice them have made one of my least favorite parts of video games a little bit more bearable. While I'd often prefer to just be dumped into a world to figure it out on my own, these all make it feel as if I have been. Meaning that some things are just so good, you hardly notice them at all. Bye-bye now. But before I go, let us thank our patrons. First off, we have a new patron, Shenangelo. Everybody clap for Shenangelo. Thank you very much, Shenangelo. It's very awesome of you. Very awesome. Happy to have you. And then we have our other amazing 6 patrons, which are Avon, Nickel Simba, Spider-Man on my new PS5, Johnny Hammerstick, Bandwagon, and I Want an Apple. You guys are all the best. You viewers are all the best. I'm John. This is Blurbs. Sayonara, suckers! The patrons aren't suckers. And neither are the viewers. I'm the sucker. See ya.